Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oops. More lighting here. How are we doing? Yeah. No starting screen. Going right in. Diving right in. Just gotta adjust the borders. Oh, wrong borders to adjust. But we got that loaded too. Let's find out where we are. Here we are. There. We'll just keep that in the background. In case we get any new folks showing up. Give them the razzle dazzle. Okay. Let's see. All right, no dropped frames. Nice, nice. Was a little not worried. Worried is not the right term for it, but was a little worried about some of those driver sound video connectivity issues I was having last week because of the motherboard driver updates. Windows, as always, is being very helpful and said, hey, you want all the updates. Yes, so we got all our lovely driver updates at once, which wreaked havoc on my on my audio, both in and out. Had some weird issues with the USB items. If I plugged in a new one, all the other ones got fussy. And I'm already using up almost all the USB ports on my computer here, so there was a lot of unplugging and plugging back in. The old IT have you turned off and on again. So there was that. We're not gonna have that problem this week though, right? Nope. This week we were doing. It was a fun stream. Played some Zombies Ate My Neighbors last Wednesday for Halloween. And that was a lot of fun. It went so much more smooth than the previous week. We sussed out the issues. With the capture card and such. And we had the robot up. Though I did confirm something I knew was happening. Was that if I have the robot going, sometimes I'm a little too worried about it. So I get distracted, I'm a little too worried that, something go wrong. So I have to keep an extra attention on the robot. I'm gesturing over there because he's over there in physical space, being a physical robot and all. Do I have fake Rusty on here somewhere? There we go. Actual Rusty. So that is an old picture of actual Rusty. But yeah, no, I get worried about the fella. And so some of my attention gets diverted from game, stream, or whatnot. And especially playing an action game, we might not bring out Rusty Robot during actual action games. It's a little too distracting for the streamer here, the streamer bot. Late at night anyways. Sometimes I feel like I'm running on fumes. Not really, but it does feel that way sometimes. Okay, let's bust chat out here so I can make sure I say hi to everybody. Pop out the chat. Okay. Gotta get my reference image, which y'all can see. Well, reference GIF anyways. There we go. Make sure that's running. But it's annoying that I can't look at my dashboard and see both the stream preview and the ad box. So that's a little annoying. But what are you gonna do? All right, let's see. What else do we need? Oh yeah, we need that reference image. We need that reference image. You can see it pumping away there in the corner, but I need a larger version on my screen. There we go. Yeah, there's my reference image. What's on the bottom of the screen? Oh, nothing suspicious. Okay. I am doing the daring, the daring streamer here. I'm doing the full screen capture, not just application capture. Because if I do just application capture, you don't get to see any of the pop-up windows for Maya, and I think that's just kind of annoying in this case. Especially since at least my version of Maya is nice enough to not, dox me by saying, "Oh hey, actual user, here's you. You need to know what your name is at all times." It's very annoying. Fusion does that. If you so much as, and I think if you're logged in on the Adobe suite, if you're logged in on Creative Cloud, it will also do that. You just go right over the help, and all of a sudden, boom, it's like, oh hey, hello, username. It's like, why? Why do I need to know who I am? Okay. Let's see. Are ads done? I have ads scheduled at right after the first minute of going live, I think, just to get that little ad block out of the way. Because since we are affiliated, Twitch wants their cut, and I don't blame them. You got to keep the servers running. You got to keep the servers. Oh, what the? Did we lose? Did we lose everything? Are we back? Every time it decides to do that. And I'm pretty sure, let's check just to make absolutely sure. Bam. I do not know what it is, but OBS likes to disconnect. And some of that might have been me, some of that in the past, might have been me fiddling around a little too much with the spout shenanigans. Going back and forth between OBS and Unity, actually. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Some of it works. Some of it works just fine. Some of it, I was experimenting with, yep, here it is actually, this waveform here by my elbow. Bringing that into Unity for some shenanigans. And Unity was, the graphics card was not having any of that. So that was annoying. That was super annoying. Okay, we're gonna have a less intrusive version, or less distracting version here of the, there we go. The thing we are modeling, and its only appearance in animated media. Okay, let's get rid of this one. Oops, what is that one? What is that one? Oh, that's that guy. Okay, bring up that source image, get rid of fake Rusty here. Oh, and this was the previous Mecha Modeling Monday project, which was my lovely Pat Labor inspired headset. Let's pop that up real quick. There's Unity. Oh, and it's hidden, so you can't quite see it. We'll fix that. We'll fix that. A little quick detour. Okay, here we are. Here we are. Here's the Unity project. And we got H for hat on the keyboard. Okay. So here's my slightly wonky let's see, how do we get back up to the head again? Nope. Oh geez. Ah. my Borderlands intro. Very nice, very nice. I had the wrong key though. Nope, that was Spout. How did I oh, Z presume. I need to label my hotkeys. There we go. See? So this was our first mecha modeling project. And it's the helmet from Votoms. I call it a helmet, but it's the mecha head. And here we go. Here's our Patlabor inspired, like in the corner of the screen, headphones. Because why not? So the theme is that I'm doing mecha modeling, but not the whole thing. So I turned the head, the entire head, into a headset. Because why not? The Scope Dog head into a hat. I need to put a little trucker hat brim on it though, and definitely fix that the wandering eyes. Yes, we'll get to that. Okay. Okay, so hide the GIF for now, and we need to get a different image there so y'all can see what I'm doing without me pulling the JPEG on and off screen all the time. Okay, so we go to the thing with the stuff with the things. There we go. Maybe make it a little bigger. Doesn't have to be perfect. Ta-da! Okay. So we're making some steppies. Yep, I said this the last time or two. It's like, oh, we're gonna finish it today, but we're not gonna quite finish it. I think that'll take more than just, for what I have planned, it'll take a little bit more. Welcome in. Glad you can make it. So a couple of the things. Did I end up rigging this? Don't think I did. Let's see. Let's change this one to the hypergraph. Look at all this stuff. All the nuts and bolts. No, it does not look like we did the joints. So that's good. And we'll change this one to... Let's do this one to the side view. Oh, it already is a side view. There we go. And I was smart. One of the last times, I made a separate camera that was pretty well lined up with the image. No, it's not. I must have moved it. I bet I did it the other way around, and I've been moving my image this whole time. Let's see. It's a good shot, though. So we got a little bit like that. Oh, it won't be right anyways because it's the wrong focal length. So I bet what I did is I had the perspective set correctly. That's probably what it was. Yeah, who knows? That part's irrelevant. We don't need to know. We don't need to have the rendering exactly lined up because... Oh, let me get into it. We gotta do a little thing off camera here. Okay. Just checking on that. Okay, all good. Just had to check some text. All right. We're back. But where are we back? Okay. You know what? I'm going to get rid of this the waveform there. There we go. I highly doubt that was what was causing the problem, but you never know. That is what was the straw that broke Unity's back, or the GPU's back, which is not because the GPU is not powerful enough. On my computer here. Not because GPU is not powerful enough. It wasn't using all of it. It was just, I think it was trying to send too much garbage back and forth, like unoptimized. Just unoptimized stuff back and forth. And I threw up a nice little error. And it did that only while live. So I think the GPU is just trying to do too much at once in a inefficient way. So it's like, no more of that. So we won't be using that fancy little shenanigans, which is a shame because it was a fun deal. What it was is I had the waveform where my mouth is. Let's see, let's go here and bigger. So as I was talking, instead of having the disk drive right here, little disk drive slot, it'd be the waveform, you know, and my vocals. So it'd be, oh, you won't see it now. Oh, there it is. So it'd be like this little waveform in the corner, the little audio waveform, while I was talking. It looked really cool, especially in a dark setting in the game engine. But the computer was having none of that. It had a strict no fun policy when it came to that. So just something about it didn't like. It's a shame because it was only using maybe like 50% of the GPU. Too much of the CPU though. But that again, that's my own inefficient lighting problems. Because I'm using a bajillion point lights in high quality. The problem is the bajillion part, not the high quality part. So it's all these little things I'm learning as I go. But that is Wednesday's problem. Wednesday we will be playing in the game engine and maybe bringing the robot back if I have setup time. Bring the IRL robot back. But today, Mecha Modeling Monday, because it's Monday here. And where we left off about a month and a half ago, because I did not touch this in October, we got this far and I said I'll finish it off stream. And then we switched on to the next project, which was the Pat Labor headphones, which I need to put on my VTuber model here, not just my game engine model. And I said, you know what, I'll finish up some of the details on here off stream and get it rigged up, and we'll call that good. Spoiler alert. We did not, in fact, complete it off stream. Okay. I'll make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so this is the entirety of the existence for my reference. It does not show up anywhere else in the anime. The anime is Madox-01. Came out in, I used to know this. 87? 88? And it's from the opening sequence, which shows a whole bunch of really cool, progress shots of them, the scientists and, the engineers building this mecha hard suit, which looks really cool. And for the 80s, this is amazing. I mean, it looks amazing even today. Because this is all cell drawn. But so I'm looking at it with you guys here. But yeah, this is all it does. Because in my mind, I had it crisscrossed with another walking animation scene, a very skeletal-looking, unarmored mecha foot walking on a treadmill. Turns out that was from Patlabor, and I had those sequences crisscrossed in my mind, unfortunately. But I can do something that they didn't in the original. I can rig this up and make this walk, and not just do the hiss hiss. Okay. So looking at this, we need to kind of make up ourselves the stuff in here. Because looking closely, there's some kind of harness in here. You can see the cylinders going huff huff. Yeah, you can see them up in the very top right. And then something, this back heel area is just a mystery. What is it braced off of? Is it braced off of this center hub right here, this axle? Or is it braced off of the leg? Because I'm considering this the ankle, right here. This is basically the ankle. And I call these the toes because they're kind of splayed like toes or hooves. However, the more accurate would be that's the toe. And this whole sled shape is the pad of the foot. Kind of how except it's connected to the ankle instead of the heel. So that's where it gets kind of tricky. Yeah, it gets a little tricky, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be a straight analogous or equivalent. Yeah, it doesn't need to be straight equivalent. So, a couple of things I wanted to do. I beefed them up last time, but I think I'm going to beef up these cylinders again. They're just a little anemic. And these guys are definitely anemic. So let's see where we were at with those. I think we had them all separated, in fact. Let's see. Oops, get back here. Okay. Oh, we're gonna leave those cylinders alone for now, because they're hiding back in that mess that's up there. And I'm not gonna make this a perfect duplicate. When I first started off, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try for it. Well, actually, the first time I was like, let's do low polygon because that's kind of our gig, right? Low polygon. The other things I had made were low polygon. In a low polygon world, if it's the theme. But as I got into it, this lovely part here, way too complicated looking. It did not look decent in any kind of low poly to still have those little curves and the holes. Hydrating, very important. So it didn't have the it just did not look good in a clunky low poly. So I took it into CAD. Actually used Fusion to model up not only this part. Oh, it looks so shiny. Here, let's just grab a bunch of it. There we go. Ooh, and hide our lovely thumper. There we go. So I do need to optimize this. I will be decimating the model using Maya's actually really good decimating tools to reduce the number of polygons, because when it came over from Fusion, Fusion's solid modeling, I believe. So yeah, it is hideously unoptimized for any kind of game use. I mean, look at this. Look at all them triangles. Yeah. What I do want to do is I do want to bring this into Unity. But I think I'll just have it as kind of like a set piece. where it sits in the back, not like the other models where I wear them. I mean, I could wear this as like a foot, and I could wear these as feet. It could be amusing. It would definitely need to have a little bit less. Just to be a little bit less. I mean, look at this. Look at all these crisscrosses. That is absolutely ridiculous. So some of these things, like this cylinder here, this rounded cylinder, would be very easy to just recreate in my, instead of, add edge loops and such to smooth it out. Like this guy, as a donut. It's basically a giant flat washer, or bushing. Well, according to this view. It doesn't seem to be its purpose, but look at that. That is... If. Oh, and there's even some issues right here. I didn't notice that before. But what it came in clutch for was this. Oh, these pieces of sheet metal looking pieces that hold, kind of sandwich the assembly. If you look at the ankle assembly. I wanted to say ankle anchor. So it turned out very nice for that. And then also getting the scale correct on, even though my source image is at a funky angle, I think I got it pretty good. With the exceptions of, it doesn't make complete sense in 3D. Or so I thought. It does make complete sense in 3D. However, as I mentioned, it is part of a sequence in the opening for an anime where they are building the mecha. And that sequence is different progress shots. So different stages in the building process. And this was an abandoned step in the process. The actual finished prototype does not have this foot. Ooh, I do have a good comparison. Here it is. Foot references. And these are 3 of the foot references. So I'm going for the bottom one. Here is an early Stompy one, which looks similar. Except for, it looks similar enough. And then here is a kind of a line drawing, a cool backlight type line drawing. Very different. This is, I have no idea what's going on here. And here, the toe is way off to the side, and the cylinder's on the bottom, which is nothing like this. These two are definitely more similar. And then the finished final model, nothing like these. Nothing like either of these. Oh well. So we're gonna still have a little fun with it. But yes, I think today we're gonna get that spinny part down here done. Oh, I gotta fix these little mushrooms. And then let's do something about the back cylinders. I don't know what, because we kind of have to make it up. Yeah, even these brackets are radically different. Okay, so if you look here, the cylinder goes up to the leg. So maybe the cylinder should brace off of the leg. I don't understand that from a mechanical perspective, though. Because then it'd be two rotating hinge joints. But we don't care. We look cool. It just has to look cool at the end. I think this is why I stopped modeling it, for being honest. And this has taken me significantly longer than the headset. The headset took me about 2.5 hours. But okay. ASMR if my noise canceling didn't take care of that. Okay. No, actually the toes The toes are raised off a little bit. They'll be fine. Eventually I might add all the little nuts and bolts, but that can be done later. Oh my gosh, look at this. What is this even? Oh well. We'll fix it in post. So another interesting thing is these don't do anything. No, they're just there for looks. Okay, so I'm gonna take this. Oh, that's part of the foot. We take the cylinder instead. Ooh, the cylinder that has all the constraints built in. Oh, all the constraints built in. Let's see, let's see. Oh, bummer. Okay, hold on. Toe group. Oh, I don't have the cylinder hooked up. I didn't put the locators in. I do need to do that yet. That it'll really bring the whole room together. But what we do have is these cylinders are halfway rigged. We'll call it halfway rigged. See if you look. Well, if you look right now, it pulls apart. But the cool thing is it acts like a cylinder. So the pivots, the two pivots work. And then the cylinder rod, in this case, pneumatic, so air, goes in and out. It's not a little too far, actually. But the good thing is that when we do have this rigged, must have had an experimental save file set up properly. So basically, when I move the toe, or that's not the right group. This is the right group. This is not the right group. Anyways, when I move the toe the right way, the cylinder will look like it's actually operating. Why do I not have my pivots in the right spot? Okay, we're gonna fix that right now. Okay, you. What are you? Group 1, Group 2, a scale group. Ew. Ankle group. Okay, you are the ankle. You don't really move. Of all the things to not move, I guess everything moves around the ankle, which makes sense. Makes sense. But we need to fix the pivots on here. The pivots should be way up here. Basically where this hideous cylinder is right now. Wow. That's a lot of cylinder. Okay. So let's take that pivot and see if we can fix it. Nope, looks like we're having an ad break. Feel free to let us know what ads you get if you want. Realize sometimes it's a personal, very personal choice. They personalize it, is what I'm saying. Okay, there we go. Okay, that toe is done, or not done, but you know what I mean. And here's its duplicate. There, that one also looks centered, so get out of pivot mode. And there we go. Let's see. So in order to have these set up properly, I need to, that's why there's groups. That's why there's groups. Okay. I need to put joints in. So a joint from the ankle, this little pivot point right there, to probably the toe, like we'll call this toe pivot here, which will also be have a joint going up to this guy. Or just a separate joint right here, maybe floating out in space. Floating out in space, grouped. I do not want to fully rig this. That's the thing. I did do some testing for fully rigging this from scratch, not using like human IK. This human IK isn't going to work super great on this, and it was a little bit of a pain. A little bit of a pain because I haven't rigged mechanical stuff or I haven't done much rigging in the last decade. So I definitely had to refer to some videos and the whole process of grouping this, grouping to that, grouping to this, basically setting up what's going to move first and what controls which axes and stuff. Oh boy. Oh boy. Especially from mechanical process. You'd think it'd be easier. You'd think it'd be easier. So we're just gonna make this look cool and be able to like maybe pivot or something like that. Pivot around, have the cylinders move, let off some steam like it does in the GIF. It's breath of animation. Shock absorbers. That's really all it is. And then something in there controls the actual propulsion of the foot. It's a bit of a mystery. It's a bit of a mystery. I assume it's some. Oh, you can't see that cursor. Okay. I assume it's something to do with that thing in the ankle. One of the cool things, make it really big for a little bit here. You look right in the middle by the ankle, and there's a thing spinning. Yeah, I'm not sure either, but we're gonna animate that too. So we're gonna add that right away. I have the spot all picked out for it. I just need to make a whatever that is. I would almost say it's like a was that a cylindrical compressor? But we'll see. We'll see. So put that in. A lot of the other parts are basically there. I just need to bulk them up a little bit so they don't look quite as anemic. And then add in the part off the heel. Let's see. I'm crouching forward and posing here with my hand on my face. Let's see. And then the hoses. And then we're really done. We just have to add some miscellaneous bulk into the pants leg. We'll call it a pants leg. But enough yapping, let's get to it. Oh, and I definitely want to model most of that before I start the rigging process, because otherwise it gets messy. It gets messy. And I have been slouching. There we go, we're on Madox-01.0010. We only have 990 more iterations to go. Oh, fill up the hard drive. Good thing, I mean, it won't. Very simple model compared to some of them. But yeah, we don't want to tempt it. So we have this miscellaneous piece. We're going to add a piece to here so it can spin around. Let's get that centered. Yeah, and it doesn't even need to be attached to anything. It could be. I mean, it'd look nicer if it was attached to something. We do need something right around the front here. Because if you look at the source image, super zooming in, there is this piece here, right here. Looks like it forms a ring around this, called the danger cylinder, the tank. And that mounts to here. So this actually needs to use. We disconnected again. I'm not even doing anything. We're gonna shut down Unity. I wonder if that's just causing some kind of issue. Hello again. There, I shut down Unity this time. It's not giving me any errors, so I don't think Unity's the problem. I think it's somehow OBS's problem. I am using a slightly out-of-date version. Not horribly out of date. Slightly out of date because I haven't had a chance to test everything with the newer versions and the enhanced broadcast. So that's one good way to nuke your setup, is to switch to something without testing it, because I haven't had a whole lot of time recently to test things. Sadly. Okay, so you little cylinder, where are you in this mashup? Oh, also, if we're going to be bringing this into the game engine, we need to start combining objects. I mean, oof. Big oof. Okay, so you are probably cylinder. We're going to bring you up ahead of, maybe right there. Maybe right there, ahead of the pivot point. Ahead of this pivot point. And it definitely looks too short. Part of this is the reason I had a side-by-side render, so I could see. Or a render from the correct angle. Correct angle and focal length. Let's see if we can perspective. This one? 35mm focal length. Okay, let's see. Perspective 1. I mean, it looks vaguely similar. I don't think it's actually 55 or 35mm. That looks a little bit closer, though it should be like this. Let's try a different approach. Too small. No, that is definitely way too fish-eyed. Okay. Toes are kind of an angle. Got that like that. Oh, would you look at that? We weren't far enough away. Oops. No. See, now I can look at them side by side at least. This needs to tilt just a little bit. No, I still think it's just a fictional amount. Yep, it's a fictional amount of stuff. The cylinder does need to be the cylinder needs to be larger, and this one needs to be longer. And this constantly reminds me that I do need to do a better job finding reference photos for future projects, which I did. I did for the pet labor. I learned my lesson really well. Yes. If I learned my lesson well and fix that deficiency there. Oh no, we gotta grab everything. Hold on. But not everything. There we go. Move you all a little bit this way. So I'm just gonna talk to myself for a little bit here. As one does. Okay, that's probably good enough. It still doesn't seem chunky enough. But part of that could be my own problems, not seeing everything properly. Okay, now we're gonna bring the other pieces out. P-pipe, P-cylinder, P-pipe. Move them back up to the end. With the old close enough. It'll look a lot better when we have hoses coming out of this too. And when this leg looks, is compressing down like it should be. Okay, yeah, because there's mystery stuff happening right here. Some big old hoses. It'll fill in the gaps. These, though. These I do want to be a little bit larger, a little bit beefier. Even though I beefed them up once already. Oh, I might not. They are already a combination. I don't know if I want to mess with them anymore. Okay, what is the hotkey? What is the hotkey? Hold on. Control middle mouse. There we go. Just a little bit. And then we ask ourselves, is it too much? No, I think it's just enough. Just enough. If anything, and they need to be longer. So let's see if we can get that scale amount from Mel. Oh boy. So by Mel, it's Maya Enhanced Language or something like that. It's Maya Scripting. Okay. So select. Here we're highlighting the piece, literally. We're selecting the pieces of the cylinder. And then we move it 0.14. So what we can do, because scripting is cool, especially if you want to do the same thing again, we are going to attempt to do the same thing again. So we got those. You can see right here, it's the same exact thing. So you have, let's see, faces 141 to 160. So I grabbed the other cylinder. Faces 141 to 160 is the same because they're the same thing. And I believe we can just go. Oh, Maya scripting is great. So now they're the same because we did the exact same thing to them. And that is way easier than trying to eyeball the scaling. Now, if we wanted to make them longer, we could do the exact same thing. Well, not the exact same thing. We can do something similar. I'd probably do vertices instead of faces. So we can grab like these and move them. Yeah, that might not work quite the same. The same idea though. We would move them, like to there or so. We're not going to do that though. We're going to leave that as is because we want to leave some wiggle room that the original designers did not. Because they didn't need to. The machine didn't need to move like that. Okay, so let's add in this little flat piece right here. We're going to add it into the cylinder. Okay, oh, see, one of the last times I was in here, I must have been doing some rigging. Because I was in the rigging menu system. Add an edge loops right there and right there. Click out of there. Yes, yes. Nope. Stop that. Get out of the tool I was using. Select all those and control middle mouse. Oops. Oh. No, we need to extrude it first. Operation failed successfully. Okay, there we go. There, see, now we just add a little band. Not much of one. Not much of one. And now, maybe, let's get out of perspective mode here. Ah, that's why. These aren't lined up nicely. Oh, the whole cylinder's not lined up nicely. Wow. Let's fix that problem first. Okay, so what is centered? It looks like this cylinder is centered, but the rest of the assembly is not. And I don't have anything named. I have very poor, bad, very poor naming convention right here. There we go. I could snap, but I don't want to snap. We'll do School of Eyeball. There we go. Perfect. It is beautiful now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add this little underbelly piece. And by add, pretty much just extrude it. It will be slightly ugly. Oh, wait, maybe not. What? Oh, it's literally going straight down. I must have rotated the whole cylinder at one point. Yeah, I must have rotated the whole cylinder at one point because it's not coming straight down nicely. That's not cool. Oh, wait. Never mind. Sometimes you just have to use a different control, I guess. Sometimes. And we are again eyeballing everything. There we go, good enough. There's definitely some geometry issues hiding in here. So let's see if we can do something about that. Yeah, right there. Right there. Bridge. Wait, let's save first. Let's save before we start doing mesh operations here. Bridge. Bridge tool, such a wonderful addition here. Come on. Let's see. Let's see how it handles this. If I need to remove the old one or not. Looks good to me. Looks good to me. But how does it look in 3D? It actually doesn't look bad. There, it looks like it did a good job. That's nice. Always welcome. Is it perfect? Nah. Nah, it's not perfect, of course. The person who did the operation. The robot who did the operation. There. Perfect enough. Alright. We got our little, let's see, we got that little part done. You'll look in the far corner. Got this bracket, got this piece under here. It probably could have came down a lot more, actually. Quite a bit more. Oh. Yeah, quite a bit more. That is entirely fixable. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. It's a funny thing. The model tracking probably picked it up, but because this piece is at an angle, right here, is at an angle, I was trying to line it up visually as I was selecting it, so it'd be horizontal in my field of view. So I was literally tilting my head about 30 degrees so I could see that. Yeah. silly organic things. We are going to go back a few steps. We are going to reload. Reload to where before. Haha, yes. Extrude face. Do I have the thickness? I do. Haha. Oh, it's not hidden. Okay. So, Maya keeps track of the history of everything you do. Much like the scripting. Oh, here was reloading everything. Like, here's the file path. Look at my username's Rusty. Scandalous. But anyways, much like everything is, you can do everything with scripting if you really wanted to. Also here, Maya keeps track of all the history until you tell it to flush out the history, which you do need to do. You do need to do from time to time. But basically what I can do in here is I can I can adjust the operations that have come before. Now it's not as nice as in Fusion. So in another Autodesk product. In Fusion 360, what they did is they have a visual timeline, much like the animation timeline right here, which I really don't need to be showing. But showing on the screen anyways. But what they have is a visual representation of the operations. It's really slick. It's one of the things I really enjoy about using Fusion. And then, because it's modeling software, CAD software, like if I were to select this whole piece in Fusion, it would highlight all those little icons of the tool operations that have touched this piece. Bam, really nice for visually oriented people. Like to see what they're doing, not just a list. See, this is nice. This is nice over here because I can go back and make adjustments instead of just doing the operation again. I can just adjust the previous operation. Can't always do that, depending on what you're doing. However, here you can. But yes, being able to do that and being able to have it highlighted for you in Fusion is chef's kiss. It's really nice. So I'm wondering. No, I think I'm still going to do what I did before. What would be really nice is if I took these two faces and bridged those. So it'd be a nice smooth transition. But all right, let's see. Thickness. How thick? It should be below all of this. And this will help add the beefiness that I was noticed was lacking before. So maybe we put that way down there. A little bit more even, because this cylinder here is going to be significantly beefier. I just like that word. Basically, the spinning part that goes around the cylinder will be about the same size as this. So now we're gonna go. Can always adjust it later. To a point. Okay, so let's see what kind of a mess we can make here. Let's see what kind of a mess we can make. In a good way. In a good way. When I reloaded, it changed my window layout. For shame. There we go. Oh, that's right. You can do it along curved paths. Yeah, that'd look really nice. This is the linear blend. Ew, 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 ew. What the what? There, I'm gonna call that good enough. If I really wanted to get fussy, I would put in the curve beforehand. I'll put in the curve beforehand instead of what I'm going to do right now, which is manually mess with these. Because overkill is the best kill. For something you can't even see. There. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful enough. Alright, next on the list is the goofy thing in here. Let's see. Ooh, we have all of everything in there. We have angles, we have translations. I'm going to zero all those out. I'm going to screenshot them first. And I'm going to zero all those out. First, we're going to delete history. So we're not bringing any baggage with. And then we're going to freeze everything. Don't think we wanted to freeze the rotation though. Let's see what happens when we do this. Will it skew? No, it does not skew. That is perfect. That is what I was hoping for. Air hub. I guess that makes sense. I called it air hub because it's the air cylinders connection point. You know what? Why don't I just make this the spinning point? Let's play that footage again. There is something connecting in there. So it would be nice to have an axle as a reference point, I suppose. Yeah, that's just an odd thing that's moving around in there. So we are going to call this air hub craft. Air hub shaft 1. Oh, there. I knew it would skew it in a certain way. If we do the whole thing, it won't skew. I think that's the wrong one. Let me find that screenshot. 90 and 20. It still skews. That's funny. That is funny. Simple fix for that, though. Ooh, it'll be a little bit off. Why is that a little bit off? Oh, that's funny. It's 20.8. That is actually pretty funny. Let's the little things that amuse us. There. At this point, I should almost just make a fresh cylinder, but I am too stubborn for that. I'm too stubborn for that. Let's see. Do this, but right about there. Put that back to 0. Oh, and I didn't do the thing I was going to do. Shh. Gonna rewind a little bit. We're just gonna rewind a little bit. We need a cylinder with about 20. There we go. Maybe 24 axes. Let's see. Let's move it over here a little bit. Maybe up a little bit. Let's see. Let's make sure it's the right size here. Just needs to be a little spinny piece. There, that was significantly less painful than what we were trying to do. We still have to snap it into place, but that looks to be roughly the right size, maybe even a little bit larger. And because we left the construction history on, we can make it a little bit larger. Oops, not that one. At least for a little bit. There we go. All right, now we can snap it into place. Oops, nope. I snapped it to the wrong object. That's funny. Let's try that again. Oh, that is funny. I can't snap it to the correct object. At least it's centered now. At least it's centered. Ta-da! The goofy spinny thing. Possibly too large. But we're gonna leave it right there for now. We might have to move it down a smidge. The angle is definitely a difficult to tell. This whole axle thing you might need to move down a smidge. But for now, peeking through there, we're gonna say good enough. Yeah, it's like a rotary compressor of some sort. Or a clutch. Now the clutch wouldn't make too much sense, I suppose. Okay, we're gonna bevel the edges a little bit and call that part of it good. Where is isolate mode? That's the question. Isolate? Here we go. Hide unselected objects. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Add in a little bit of flavor. And then collapse this back. Actually, it doesn't matter if I collapse that back too much, does it? Oh, maybe it does. Maybe it does. Oh, did our soundtrack stop? Our soundtrack stopped. Hour and 21 minutes. Congratulations. Okay, on the front we just have a little bevel, but I think I'm going to add the bevels themselves. Yeah, we'll add the bevel later. Okay, so now we have to add in the miscellaneous indents. I mean, this 24, so I was thinking every 3. No, every 3 is too much. Every 4. One, two, skip a few. There's probably an easier way to do this. With like math or something weird like that. Is this what I want? That is absolutely not what I want. Oh, ew. What on earth? That is unexpected behavior. I did not expect it to do this. I expected it to sink the whole thing in instead of making weird faces. I mean, for going out, that's just fine. So maybe the real... Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Maybe the real thing to do, now that you can hear me, because you're not here right now. The real thing to do is to do the opposite of this. Already back. Hello. OBS issues, let me tell you. Kind of ridiculous at this point. Yeah, so instead of syncing them in, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to not do that either. We are going to select the other pieces. We're making not quite a sprocket. Looks more like a collet nut than anything, but the you know, something you can grab onto with a big spanner wrench. This is really what I was trying to go for. Not quite how I wanted to do it, but this will be just fine. I wonder what difference. Ooh. That is beautiful. Yeah, going in this direction is... Oh. Well. That is way nicer than what I was trying to do. I'm going to give it just a little bit. No, do that. Okay, fine. Ooh. That looks way nicer than it has any business being. All right. All right, we'll take it. We'll take it. So now that we have this beautiful piece of geometry, I'll have to remember that one. Made a really nice and easy sprocket, even though this isn't a sprocket. Okay, what is show all? 'Cause I did hide everybody. There we go. Okay, so a side effect is that it's a little bit bigger than I was hoping. But. Oops, no, just that direction, just that direction. See, now it'll be doing the little shimmy. Oh no, I think it's too many pieces. Hold on. Oh, you've been looking at this the whole time. I'm sorry. 1, 2. Oh no. Yeah, it has too many faces, or too many lugs. Oh, wow. Next time, tell me you can't see everything. Oh, you can't see the beautifulness. It'd be a shame. I think that was hidden the whole time I was doing that operation, too. So... I could repeat that using code again in a very pretty way. Just bam. That's it. So it's not perfect. It has too many lugs. But that's okay. We'll call that good for now. Okay, so we got that piece done. I'm going to extend whatever this piece is. What that time change for messing with your ability to no, not the ability, just desire to keep a conversation going. Sorry about that, but man, conversation tonight. I'm not super duper big on that, am I? Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Put this a little. We're gonna do our trick we did before. But yeah, as always, if you have any questions whatsoever, please do let me know. Maybe after the ad break, if that's a problem. Yes, we are definitely adding a little bit more beef, a little more structure to this whole assembly here. That was just lacking before. I'm just kind of filling it all out. Oh yes, I was gonna do the back part. So let's steal one of these guys. Are these guys hooked up? They do have aim constraints, so I'm assuming they are indeed hooked up. Okay, I'm gonna steal one of these because I believe it is in a nice vertical location or orientation. What are you? Oh. You need to go over here. You, who are you? Okay. You. You I'm going to duplicate. Hopefully it takes the constraints with it. It does not. That is interesting. Oh, I know why. I know why. Duplicate. Special. I think I reset this last time. So what we want is a copy with the... Ooh, I think both of those. Can we do both? Let's try with the input graph. I'm not sure input graph or input connections is what we want. Oh, there we go. Oh, it does a flippy. Wow, that's kind of gross. That aim constraint needs some fixing. Because, see how it does this turn right here? That's not supposed to happen. But that's okay, we're not going to let that happen. First of all, we're going to center that pivot. Because it does not to be at origin. But it did what we it did what we wanted it to. No idea why that is center. Okay, now we're gonna have to get a rough angle from the photo. Or the steppy. There you go. So the rough angle here is not much. It almost looks like it's going into the almost looks like it's going up here, but it isn't. It's much more squat than that. It's just going in there somewhere. It's a complete mystery. It doesn't quite make sense. So we're just gonna kind of hide it. We're gonna hide it, and then we're gonna beef it up like we did all the other cylinders. Change their shape a little bit. A fun thing we could do to make sure they stay as proper cylinders. Is to orientate it vertically or horizontally. Probably horizontally. This seems to have some kind of issues, and I need to stop doing that in perspective. Hide. And we're just going to kind of line it up the best we can, because it does not need to be perfect. If we really wanted to, we could just snap it to the grid, I suppose. That would actually make the complete sense. The things we forget about doing. If you want it to be perfectly horizontal or vertical, or any specific angle based on the grid, snap it to the grid. These snap tools are up here, super handy. I usually use the snap to point, just for the type of stuff I've been doing. Okay, so now shorten this guy up a bit. Oh, not quite perfect, mind you. Look at that, slightly off. This one is significantly smaller than the other pieces. However, much beefier. That should do. That should do. And while we've got them separated, we might as well have a little bit more fun with it. Let's toss a bevel on it right away. Mesh. Perfect. All right. Now let's put it all back together. Oh my gosh, that's why? Here's why it flips. This is definitely a flaw. Oops. Definitely a flaw that I did. Definitely a flaw I created. Okay, so the flaw is that the center, the pivot, is not centered. If you look, this is centered from this perspective, but not this perspective. So therefore, the aim constraint. Oh, that's funky. Why the hell are they way out there? Well, that is interesting. Because it still works. Even though those aim constraints are who knows where. Really, the cylinder be going like this. And I should beef up the other ones too. While we're here, we might as well make it look a little bit better. Welcome to Rambling Monday. Because why not? And it's just a little bit of rambling. Oh, this one. There. Now it doesn't look quite so. Quite so, yes. So the tricky part about what I am doing here is that it is, these are all combined, and I don't really feel like uncombining them at this point. They're mostly hidden, so it shouldn't really be an issue anyways. But I still don't want it to look silly. I do find it amusing. It is not lost on me that I'm spending way too much time on details that are basically hidden from view. But that's okay. That is okay. I mean, this whole project is a for fun project anyways. I'm sure whatever fictional employer that would be paying me to do this is happy I'm not working hourly. Or salary for that matter, with as little progresses I made on it. Little? No, not little. As slow of progress I've made on it. Okay, there we go. There, now we have our nice out cylinder. And it doesn't need, center pin holes or anything like that for the yoke, because it's all hidden in there. If I was doing a parts explosion like I had originally thought, before I dove into how much complexity there is in this and how much I would have to be making up. Before I dove into that, I did want to do a parts explosion, which would show every little nut and bolt coming out, because I've done those before. As part of freelance gigs, I have done parts manuals, owner manuals, owner repair manuals kind of things. and every part had to be modeled, and you'd show it parts, what I call parts explosion, where you have the whole, basically a 3D model of everything, the whole piece, except it's all the pieces are slightly spaced apart on how they would be assembled. So if you have a block here and another block that goes into it or connects to it, you would have that there, and then any little flange or bracket where they would connect, you have the little bolts or alignment pins or whatever. Those would be spaced out a little bit to show that they go, that's where they connect. It's they're actually a lot of fun. Back in the day, you would have just a illustrator, draftsman would have gotten out the ruler and make sure that all the perspective was all lined up correctly and everything was in its correct spot. But in 3D, you can just spin it around like this and use now you would use some kind of toon render, I believe. I used a vector render back in the day to do that, to do nice outlines, and it turned out really nice. I'm also glad I don't do that anymore. There's got to be like some kind of plugin that'll actually do it for you, where it'll space everything apart nicely. Does it like basically drift everything slightly apart from each other? I bet there is. I bet Blender has one. And I will try Blender someday. I will not switch to. I do want to explore it. Like I've said before, I am not strictly beholden to one system or another. But I am most familiar with Maya for the 3D side of things. Okay, now here's where not having that center. Maybe I should just put the center line in here, so I can snap points easier. Because right here, the center for the center pivot would be nice. So I am kind of eyeballing it. And as you can see, I'm eyeballing it a little bit off. There. A little bit off, but good enough. In a good enough way, maybe. Oh, hey, they're not lined up anyways. Look at that. There. The beauty is in the imperfection or something. Oh, I'm gonna have to alter this cylinder anyways. Oh well. Because it doesn't stick through like that. Huh. Well, that is curious. That is an interesting design choice. Now that I can see it in 3D. Just plop that right there, and the top piece. We did say we were just gonna kind of hide it in the middle here somewhere. Oh, and I might have made it too short now. That is sad and amusing at the same time. There, it is connected to a mythical piece of equipment hiding in here somewhere. There, we made a little bit of progress tonight. I was somehow thinking we'd get far enough along that we would get to the hissing, the actual movement, and having the air stream shoot out, at least as part of like a simulation, or not a simulation, special effects. But I do plan on making the hoses So all the little hoses. We're at a good saving point. I do plan on having all the little hoses in there. There's actually not that many. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. You have the 2 static hoses coming off of the... Let's switch over here. 2 static hoses coming off the top of here. Those just tuck back. Who knows? Maybe those hoses are the ones that go to the bottom, to these ports in the cylinders here. And then for movement, there's some connection over here. The same unit. I'm gonna say it all goes into this air tank here. And those hoses are the big ones coming up. Ones that are squashing and stretching all along the back of the leg on the right side of the animation here. So I'm wondering, since this is going to be a static piece, or not a static piece, an object in the game world, not a player, not part of the player. So it doesn't need a whole lot of proper rigging. So I was thinking, it's like, do I just want to do like a blend shape animation? You know, up state, down state. Or do I want it to make to extrude some curves? You know, just draw some curves, extrude them, and then throw some joints in the curves, so that when I bring it into Unity, you can put spring joints on those. There's spring joints. I think they are spring joints, so that it doesn't need to be keyframed. The keyframing would just be the leg pump, you know, like that. So that would be the keyframe: up state, down state. So it'd go between those 2 states like it is right now, kind of rocking up and down, up, down. So when it goes down, the particle effects, the hissing, but also as it's moving up and down, those spring joints would just be automatic, because they're dynamic. Automatic dynamic. Something to think about. Well, this was fun. Kind of chitter chatter and get a little bit done. I can definitely tell I'm not running on not using the whole processor, as they say, due to the time change. That's for sure. That's for sure. It's a shame. A shame that we have to have time changes. Do I want an EP or a CV curve? Create. Curve tools. Probably control vertices. So let's do CVs. So we're gonna do this. We'll just do this and then we'll go. Why am I looking at the tiny picture over here in OBS that you guys are forced to deal with? Well, not quite, because my OBS preview is like significantly smaller than what you guys see. But let's see. It arcs up like that, then comes down like that, and snuggles up somewhere in the back of here. We're gonna say it just keeps following down this way, and then into the cylinder. So now what we do is we move those control points themselves. Oops, except we need to edit the control points, right? forgot that there was a specific tool just for that. Curve editing tool. Wait, really? Oh no, I am a silly. This one. There we go. Like I've been saying, if you don't use it, if you don't use it for a long period of time, it just disappears. Okay, let's just do this before we call it. Well, this is... I'm obviously doing something wrong. Because it's not letting me choose the things I want to choose. Which should be the control points. Like, I only want to choose a couple of control points, not the whole curve. Boy, oh boy, what am I doing incorrect here? Can I find curve editor values? And that sounds like a problem. Okay, maybe we will leave this for next time. Oh, or we just discovered what we were doing, but didn't work before. Go figure. Go figure. Okay. Okay, so let's see how quickly we can speedrun this. Blech. Oh, that is... We're leaving this for next time. I am gonna need to fiddle with this off camera because this is way more difficult than it should be. Basically, we're making a curve. I probably just made the wrong kind of curve. And then we are going to extrude a circle along the length of that curve. And that will be the hose. And that's it. So let's see if it lets us edit this curve again. Do not know why it isn't letting me just edit the control points, the CPs. And it wants to do everything at once. I was doing the wrong thing. Go figure. Go figure. Yeah. Okay. So, for future reference, the little circle, not the thing that looks like dots on a curve. And we're gonna snooze that ad because, yeah, I haven't earned it. Okay, we are just gonna take a couple of these and a couple of these. Move this over here. Move these way over here. And move these also way over here. That was so much simpler. So much simpler. And hide this back here somewhere behind the other piece. The nice thing is we can leave construction history on for these, so we can alter the curve later, and it will also alter the geometry. Yes, the geometry of the hose. There, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, that is actually what I was trying to do before. Okay, and we won't see all of it, and that is okay. That is okay. We're gonna hide these a little bit more in here somewhere. Oops. There we go. Okay, good enough for now. Save. Let's see. Now we just need a select the curve. Mesh. Mesh. Honestly, I think we can just blow this up, make it a pipe right by itself, but I'm not quite sure how to do that. Okay, yeah, I will extrude it at a later time. It's in here somewhere. Ah, there we go. Select curves, select path last. So essentially you want to make a little circle. Oops. A much smaller circle. mean, while we're here, we might as well. Circle. I don't have it attached quite right anyways. Let's see, let's just turn on snapping. And snap it to... Oops, nope. Snap it to the curve. Come here, curve. Are you not snappable? It is not snappable. Go figure. There, that is roughly aligned with that. All right, let's see. Where is our extrude tool? Select the path last. Curve selected. Path selected. We got a hose. It's kind of ugly, but that's okay. And it is definitely way too big. Way too thick. Ew, and does not. The hell? It does not follow the curve path. That's interesting. It is very offset. It is very offset. Tube. There we go. Now it's following the path. Oh, ad break. Sorry about that. We'll be wrapping this up shortly after the ad break. Gotta make that dollar. There we go. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. We are gonna save that and we're gonna call it good. Now let's get that beauty shot. Bam. Select nothing. Okay. His foot. And scooch it up just a little bit. We didn't duplicate that cylinder for the back. The heel does need some work, but that's okay. His foot. It is coming along. And there we go. The thumbnail, folks. I'll put the image above here somewhere. All right. We might just call it a night tonight. I am low on time, unfortunately. So on Wednesday, hopefully I'm better adjusted to the whole time change thing, because time changes are cool. So hopefully I'm better adjusted to the time change, a little bit more talkative maybe, a little better rested, assuming my toddler lets me sleep. Because they like to wake up at ungodly hours in the middle of the night. They're like, hey, we need diaper changes. You'd think they'd make robots for that. But yeah, we're just going to call it a night. So thank you all very much for stopping by. And see you on Wednesday for some Unity. Yeah, I don't think we'll be ready for rigging this up, but we will play around in Unity, and it'll be a good time. So, catch y'all later, and good night.